Austin Talks Through the Movie. Howdy, I'm Austin Larson, and this is Austin Talks Through the Movie. Once again, I'm joined by my guest, Spidey York.
What's up, everybody?
Hey, awesome. All right, Spidey, so happy to have you back. Let's see.
Happy to be back.
Well, thank you, man. I'm glad you're happy to be here. Let's see. We profiled you in the 4th episode of the Ex-Girlfriend Tattoo podcast.
Don't flush, let it soak. I drug that cop down the road. My opinion is that soy is terrible.
That was about your, let's see. We focused on a lot of things in that episode, but for the most part, it was kind of focused on your jail sentence. Now that most of the country is kind of locked down due to the coronavirus, COVID-19, how would you compare the current lockdown of the U.S. to the lockup you faced for 4 months?
Oh, this is much better. I can still do whatever the fuck I want out here, you know? I couldn't get high in jail or anything like that, but out here, it's all fair game still.
Well, hey, there we go. You can't get high in jail. Just when this whole thing's over and a lot of people are just, acting stupid, just that's a good reminder. You can't get high in jail. I like that. All right. Since quarantine has pretty much left people with the options of, either streaming something or doing absolutely nothing, have you seen Tiger King yet?
I actually have only seen bits and pieces of it. Enough to know that it's, hilarious, but I haven't actually sat down to watch a full episode.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. Fair enough, man. I was kind of curious about that just because I don't want to spoil it for you, but there's some things just from knowing you and just from your last interview, there are some things that, I think you'd really enjoy it.
Well, I have to give it a check.
Definitely. I tell you what, one of the questions, I guess I was kind of running on the assumption that you might have seen it. I was going to ask if, is there an alternate universe, an alternate timeline where you see yourself married to Joe Exotic?
Well, just judging by his pictures, I could say, yeah, why not?
Fuck yeah, man. Okay. I'm going to ask you that question again after you've seen the entire series. It's going to mean something totally different.
All right, I'm game.
Fuck yeah. All right. And then, so in that larger profile interview I did with you back in, was it January?
Yes.
God, time flies, man. Let's see. We covered a lot of things. We focused on a few things, but I feel really bad about this. I didn't realize it. Spidey, we didn't talk at all about your musical career. I feel like that's one thing, especially since you've gotten out of jail, that, you've really, you've poured a lot of yourself into, you've been very focused on. So do you want to just tell us a little bit about that, your singing career?
Oh, it's not really much of a career, man. It's just, well, when it all comes down to it, what else you gonna do while you're quarantined? And, you figure you got the voice of, Fergie and Jesus. You might as well make some dope-ass shit.
There you go. It's, so it's no original pieces. It's all, covers, right?
Yep.
Hey, still, that's music. Where can we find that online? You're on YouTube, Facebook, the Smule app, I believe, right? Where would we find you?
You can find it on all of those. If you just search Spidey York, shit's gonna pop up.
All right, so that's Spidey York, Facebook, YouTube, Smule. All right. Yep. Kind of relating to the film we're watching today, as an adult, would you say that you've ever been babied by anyone, whether that's good or bad?
Oh, God, you know that. Me and my grandma, man.
Oh, yeah, she's...
My little sister gets all mad because, I'm the obvious favorite, and she gets mad at grandma for demonstrating that I'm the obvious favorite.
Shit. Well, grandmas do have favorites. They don't ever admit who it is. They just show it. If you're the favorite, you might know. If you're not the favorite, you definitely know.
Yes, that is true.
Oh man, I feel like either grandparents, parental figure, really any sort of authority figure. I feel like it's the ones who kind of punished us when we were young and fucking up are the ones that don't realize that we're not young and not fucking up is bad. Or maybe they don't realize we're fucking up worse. I don't know.
Well, whatever it is, all I know is that I am grandma's special little man. And she's my special lady.
You've called her a lot of things over the years. I'm glad it's special lady now. That makes me feel good.
It's just a step up from special woman.
All right. So let's see. Now, as an adult, Who's the biggest baby you've had to deal with? Now, I mean, I guess usually we think of a big baby as someone who's, whiny, but really any sort of glaringly childish traits.
A man that I once knew by the name of.
Oh God. What made him such a big baby?
Well, just a bunch of everything. He cried about a lot of stuff that wasn't anything anyone should be crying about. He acted like a baby when certain things didn't go his way. The list just goes on and on. He had several wonderful traits, but also several very, very baby man-like traits.
I lived with a kid for a while well, I'm making a little bit of a broad generalization, so please forgive me. He was homeschooled, and so he really had trouble picking up on social cues, man. Oh man, that kid, like he couldn't tell if he was reading a satire article or a real one. Like in his mind, all news sources were built equally, and that's obviously not true. He bitched about water stains on the dishes, not like dishes we hand washed, but like from the dishwasher. I mean, I bought the cheap Costco detergent, and of course, there'd be like little hard water stains on pans, glasses, whatever, typical dishwasher shit. He just couldn't deal with that, and to top it off, kid could not fucking pour a beer to save his life. It was the most embarrassing thing ever.
Well, all right.
Hey, I mean, it's he was a big baby. That's when it boils down to it. Yeah, that's a big baby.
I don't think either one of our instances will be the type of baby that is portrayed on the screen, though.
Yeah, probably not. Although we've both had some shitty roommates because I lived with that kid, and then you lived with for a while. God, that was Wow. I mean, you must have been on some serious drugs to sign that lease. But really, whoever let you sign
less drugs back then.
Really?
Yeah.
God. Well, who let you sign that lease? They must have been on some drugs.
That would be my ex-wife, so you're right there.
Oh, jeez. All right. Well, speaking of babies, as an adult, have you ever shit your pants?
Actually, yes.
I bet you tell us about that.
All right. This actually happened not too long ago. Not too proud to admit it, but what person would be? I was out in Oregon seeing my other grandma, and I had just done a bunch of heroin. And I visited with her, and I kind of had to go to the bathroom, but I was like, nah, I don't really see this grandma all that much. We're not really at that place in our relationship, so I'm just going to go home. And I get in my 2000 Mercury Sable that has cloth seats and proceed to go down Clodfelter. And, well, before I knew it, I couldn't even get out of my car. Like, I stopped, I pulled over everything, but I couldn't even get out. I just shit overflowed everywhere, and I had to drive to a nearby gas station, one little podunk one in Oregon, and do the walk of shame inside with shit hanging all off me and carrying clean clothes, and walk out carrying my feces covered clothing items in front of the cash registers and everything. And then I had to drive home with the smell. It was just a bad incident.
That sounds like a shitty time, man.
It was the worst.
I bet. Now, just to clarify, because you said it wasn't that long ago, I mean, that was about 4 or 5 years ago, right? You haven't touched heroin in quite some time, right?
Yeah, that was about 2 years ago.
2 years. Okay, well, shit, sorry. I mean, it just like, it hasn't been since the last time I interviewed you. I just wanted to clarify that. Oh, man. Let's see. I can't think of the last time I truly shit my pants as an adult. I mean, I've gambled and lost in a fart before, but nothing too significant. The funniest thing I can think of is, God, when I was 19, back when I was still working at the college, when I had that sweet set carpentry gig, there was this dude who he kind of went to the college. He didn't work there, but he was a student. He kind of hung out. And one day I was with my boss. We were just smoking our cigarettes outside, and this dude, he comes up and he bums a cigarette off of me. And like, it was so weird because around the time he was 23, 24, he just developed this habit of, if he had to fart, he'd just fucking do it. Like, if you were talking to him or whatever, he would just let it rip. And I'd be like, dude, what the fuck? Why are you doing that? And he's like, it's natural. It's totally natural. I do it. You do it. We all do it. Why am I making such a big deal of it? And I'm like, because I'm fucking standing right next to you, bro. That's Don't fuck. And like, it wasn't just me, like his buddies he was comfortable with. Fucking anyone, mixed company, whatever. Anyway, I said something stupid. I don't remember how funny it was, but he was laughing, and I mean, it really got him. Like he was out of breath. He was slapping his leg and shit, and he was still laughing. And then suddenly, all three of us heard just this god awful wet smacking, just the unmistakable sound of feces smacking denim. Like, I'm not saying that dude gambled and lost in a fart. I'm saying he wagered his fucking 401k and he rolled snake eyes. I mean, it was God. The color drained out of his face. His eyes were the size of the fucking moon. I mean, he kind of stubbed out his cigarette and he's like, "Hey, I gotta get going, you guys. I'll talk to you." And he did that weird little shuffle with his fucking, oh my God, it was. So the film we're going to be watching today, it's 1973's The Baby, directed by Ted Post. Honestly, my guy, I'm surprised we didn't actually watch this movie when we were in high school.
Me too.
Let's see. So I know that we talked a little bit about in that last interview about, kind of our shared experiences in high school. Really, we didn't get into like the harder drugs, and even by harder drugs, I mean strictly pharmaceuticals. We did not get into that till about the second half, maybe the fourth quarter of senior year high school. So, I mean, you moved before the start of junior year. You did your last 2 years of high school in Pendleton with me. Really, I'd say that honestly, out of those 2 years, we only had 3 or 4 true parties. Would you agree?
Yeah.
I mean,
accurate.
But even then, I mean, your grandparents did have a cabin in the woods they'd go to pretty much every weekend. So, I mean, more or less, we had a standing date of, pretty much from Friday to Sunday. I mean, you'd have the house to yourself. We'd hang out a lot. Most weekends, it was pretty quiet, we just we'd watch something stupid, whether it be on DirecTV, YouTube, we'd pirate something, smoke a pack of Camels, eat a DiGiorno. Once in a while, we'd get some beer. Even rarer than that, we'd get some weed. I mean, it was just hanging out, keeping it low key,
Those were the days.
They were the days. This is a reviewing of the film for you and I, so we did see this movie. We weren't in high school. We were a little bit older. Do you have any idea when we saw this movie the first time?
Actually, kinda. It was right around the time, so it had to have been like May or June, because it was right after me and my ex-wife split.
Wait, when did you? I was gonna say yeah, because I was gonna say I think it was around yeah, that's right. I was gonna say I think it was after your wedding. Excuse me, yeah. I think it was after your wedding, but before your divorce, because I remember your ex-wife was still in the picture, but things weren't going so smoothly.
I thought I had my rebound chick.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, and then sorry, just now that I'm kind of thinking about that point in your life, you were unemployed at the time, right?
Yeah, I was enlisted, but unemployed.
Okay, yeah, that's right. You were enlisted, but you didn't. Life happened. You ended up going. So yeah, let's see. So was managing the motel, and you were just kind of sitting at home with your thumb up your ass, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
So you were the baby.
Yeah, I was the baby.
Oh my God, was that okay? And so it was probably about 5-6 years ago, realistically, that you and I saw this movie together. All right. Do you remember how we saw it?
Oh God.
So I remember that. I want to say that we were coming down off it, like we had been doing coke earlier, and we were kind of coming down, and we just watched a movie to chill out.
As I
but
recall,
also,
you had
okay,
told
go ahead.
me about it. As I recall, you had told me about, hey man, we got to check out this movie called The Baby, and you showed me the previews for it, and I was like, oh my God, we have to watch it. And so we were all together one night, and yeah, there were drugs and drinks, and we watched The Baby.
That's about what I remember too. So okay, yeah, we were fucked up when we saw it. So yeah, all right. 1973's The Baby. Interesting note I found out while I was doing some research about the film. So it was directed by Ted Post, born in 1918, passed away in 2013. He directed a lot of TV. Some of his TV credits include episodes of Perry Mason, Gunsmoke, The Rifleman, and that one was my dad's favorite, and The Twilight Zone. So some of his film directorial credits include Beneath the Planet of the Apes in 1970, and he had another film released in 1973, which was Magnum Force, the first Dirty Harry sequel, so the second one in that series. Like, how the fuck do you go from directing Dirty Harry to this?
Well, I suppose I could see the artistic similarities. Grown baby man, Dirty Harry, Clint Eastwood.
Yeah?
I could see similarities.
Hey, no, I feel that. All right, we're going to be watching the film on YouTube today, and that's courtesy of 42nd Street Cult. All right, Spidey, you ready?
I am ready.
Let's do it. Alright, so we're about 15 and a half minutes in. Really good to catch up with Spidey. If you haven't heard his interview from January, go ahead and check that out. It's a wealth of knowledge. So, The Baby is available to watch for free on YouTube. That's via 42nd Street Cult. If you plan on watching it there, go ahead and pause this. Otherwise, here's a plot summary, courtesy of IMDb. This particular one was written by Brian J. Wright.
3, 2, 1.
A social worker who recently lost her husband investigates the strange Wadsworth family. The Wadsworths might not seem too unusual to hear about them at first, consisting of the mother, 2 grown daughters, and the diaper-clad, bottle-sucking baby. The problem is, the baby is 21 years old. This movie is a trip, very much a product of its time, but still a very weird film today. It's definitely not the worst introduction to cult horror. It's a product of the 70s, but also something that could only happen in the 70s. Hope you enjoy. We now return to the viewing in progress. Wow, man, I totally forgot about that twist ending.
I know that twist kind of made me go, what the fuck, a little bit at the end.
Right? I mean, so I don't know if you had this, but I was watching it on my TV, and there were some definite volume and all audio quality issues on this particular rip we were watching.
On mine, I watched it just on my phone, and everything seemed to go along the lines with what you'd expect from a 1970s flick like that.
True.
Well, it wasn't too many audio issues on my end. The quality could have been a bit better, but that could have just been because it was on my phone. Other than that, my rip was pretty good, except for whoever put it together. There were some parts that overlapped. So like it'd say like oh, Huckleberry Pie, and then it'd cut, oh, Huckleberry Pie.
No, the double takes. No, I have those in my notes too. No, I noticed that as well. I think honestly I didn't honestly at first I kind of attributed that to the editor of the film itself, but you're right, it might have been the person who ripped the DVD or digital file or whatever it may be. Good observation, man. Thank you, Spidey. Let's see. But so oh my god. So yeah, especially in that opening, how the fuck is a social worker coming there twice a year and everything's Gucci?
That's I'd like to be able to say, oh, maybe that's just how it was back then, but I think that's just poor research on the film itself.
Yeah, I'll drink to that. Speaking of which, so in that opening scene when the daughter's in the living room kind of interjecting, what the fuck is she doing there? Like, yeah, she's not really doing anything there.
She's just being one of Mama's good little daughters. Obviously, they're a very tight family, and they have a very special bond.
Yeah, special and tight, yeah. So it becomes apparent that, Anne's spending, like a lot of time with baby, like 3 times in 1 week, yet nothing's happening, no, like no one's seizing baby from their control. I mean, really, it feels like she's just coming to play with baby all those times, I mean, I kind of understand her boss yelling at her, but also, I have it written here, her boss is Fat Adam Driver.
That's a funny observation. Fat Adam Driver, I like it.
Thank you. Let's see. But and then also just kind of thinking about it, when they show Baby in his crib and his playpen and everything in the 1970s, where are they finding like adult-sized baby stuff?
Hey man, there's that sexual, revolution awakening that the hippies did throughout the 60s. You don't know what sort of weird shit was made back then.
True, but I'm just saying, I mean, like I really kind of wish that they included a deleted scene where those two daughters, are taking like a shop class and they're, building like an adult baby-sized crate.
No, what are you building this crate here for, young girl?
Our
Build
baby brother.
for my baby.
Oh my god, yeah. So, but the film did do an excellent job of establishing, the backstory for Anne's husband, just instantly. Oh, what's your husband do? Well, he was an architect. And then suddenly it's, oh, you said was. And then, I mean, they just, honestly, just the tone there, it was perfect. I thought that was really good right there.
I'd have to agree.
Let's see. I mean, it was interesting how she never really tried to justify all the time she was spending with Baby, It was just, she was just someone there from the county there to, do her job.
Just trying to do her job for Baby.
Yeah, right? Oh, there was a double take, right when, when Anne was saying, besides, it wouldn't be too much fun when she was talking to the sister about exercise. There was a double take right there. In my mind, it was just, I honestly, I chalked it up to the editor thinking like, oh, it was a low budget 70s film. Everyone's probably doing acid and coke and having sex without condoms and whatnot because it's the 70s. But you brought up a good point. Maybe it was the person who ripped the digital file, whatever, So, I mean, that's interesting. Two different viewpoints right there.
I'd love to be able to say it wasn't like that the first time that I saw this, but I can barely remember the first time that I saw this.
Yeah, I mean, I really don't remember the first time that we saw this either, man.
It was a while back.
Like, honestly, just the fact that it's, just a really stupid 70s horror flick like this, I wouldn't be surprised if, like, it turns out that I actually saw this with my mom when I was a kid,
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised in that.
That was one thing that my mom and I really bonded over when I was, like, a little kid. And, I mean, even, like, just when I was growing up was just, really shitty, like, just stupid horror films like that, I mean, hell, even to this day, like, sometimes I'll still send, like, a shitty horror film my mom's way and whatnot,
Yeah, I can attest to that. Me and my mom, we're the same way, and I could have very well watched this with her when I was much younger myself.
I feel that, man. Oh my god. And then when Baby's sister says later in the film, when, Anne's kind of grilling her about, like the tests, like for his just basic development, she's like, he had all those tests when he was a baby. It's like, well, what the fuck is he now, bitch?
Yeah, isn't his name Baby? Haven't you guys, like, refused to, acknowledge him as a regular being with a regular name? And don't you guys still refer to him as Baby?
I know a guy whose legal name was Baby at one point.
Oh, you do now, huh?
I know lots of interesting folk. Oh my god. And then when they're kind of going through like the slides of Anne and her husband, and then, we're I guess when the audience is kind of led to believe that he's passed away, quote unquote, and she's there with her mother-in-law, it's super fucking weird. But that whole scene, like even by 70s standards, she is not well adjusted to grieving,
That entire movie was just one big fucking weird masterpiece in my mind.
Yeah, you're not wrong, buddy. But how had Baby not formed like even rudimentary speech? Like not even really forming basic, like sounds. Like ma pa pa ha ha pa pa ka ka. Like.
Well, I mean, he was obviously kept from advancing by his his family. They fucking zapped the poor thing when, and they were saying baby doesn't walk, baby doesn't do, no baby stand up. They were holding him back for sure, but.
Well, that's a very good point, Spidey. Thank you. But so how the fuck did they find a babysitter for baby?
That's actually one of the first things I wondered when, the babysitter was getting ready to get trounced on by the family is
okay, like quote, I mean like full disclosure here, man.
Not gonna lie here, that scene kind of gave me a little bit of a Woody, but
hey, no, it was, I mean, it was interesting for sure. Let's see, okay, but especially when they walked in on the babysitter and the baby, I couldn't tell. So was she nursing baby or was he rounding second base?
That's a tough one right there, because at first, I would say nursing, but man, after seeing how he was working that tit, I don't know. I think he might have known a little bit more than he was given credit for.
That really wouldn't surprise me at all. But especially after they beat the shit out of the babysitter, I mean, they threatened her, they said, if you go to the cops, we'll say that you were abusing. How is she abusing him any more than they are,
Well, that's, I think that's, just we can abuse him because he's our baby, but you can't. And if you try, we're going to take you to the cops, bitch.
Oh, that's so fucked up, man.
That's the most fucked up.
All right. So they show baby feeding from a bottle, like, exclusively. How are his teeth not, like, fucking horribly deformed from feeding from a bottle that long?
How is there not more wrong with him? Because honestly, one of the first things that one of the first mental, observations I made was, dude kind of looks like fucking Adam what's his face, Owl City. He looks like Owl City. Guy looks like fucking Owl City, and he's like too clean to be in the situation that he was supposed to be in. You'd think that there'd be like shit and puke running off of him, and the movie was just, I don't know. There's a lot left to the imagination that should have been there for realistic purposes.
Fair enough, man. Let's see. So there was a double take when, when the mother said, you think too much. I noticed that.
At what point was this at?
Let's see. So it's like they're outside and like Anne throws the ball and baby crawls and has to look for, approval from mama because the baby is so scared of mama.
Yes.
And then of course, in the next scene they show the sister, like shocking baby for misbehaving. And well, I'm not gonna lie. A skinny blonde girl with pigtails violating me with a cattle prod like that? I mean, that ranks in the top 5 of my, like dark secret sexual fantasies, man.
Man, I put myself there when I was watching that for real. I was like, this is hot as fuck. Like, oh my god.
The 70s were a crazy time, man.
They were, and if it was anything like that, I would have loved to have been a part of it.
I hear that, man, and more on that later. Let's see. Oh my god. And then of course, it's kind of fucked up in that one scene where baby's sister gets naked and just kind of crawls on top of him, Like, now granted, I mean, I've woken up with a vagina in my face before, and I mean, hey, it was pretty cool at the time, but if you didn't understand what was going on, oh my god.
See, that goes back into what we were talking about earlier. Was he really just ignorant to everything going on around him, or did he have a little bit of game himself? Was he working that second base? Was he sucking in them titties? Was he saying, "Bring me more. I'm gonna be your baby for as long as you want"?
I mean, yeah, good point. I see a fair argument either way. Oh my god. Okay, so when they shot that footage at the special needs school, I have some questions about that. Like, A, were those really special needs kids, or were those just child actors pretending to have special needs? And either way, how did they get the okay for that?
Well, this was the 70s. I don't think they needed much approval. I'd be willing to place my money on those were real special needs kids.
Touche, man.
Just
Oh
like
my
that was
God.
a real adult baby.
Oh my God. When Anne says that it's like being buried alive, what the fuck? Can you say foreshadowing?
Yeah, right?
Let's see. So the Mr. Foley that Anne answers to, just because I'm a dopey wrestling nerd. That Mr. Foley has to be the hardcore legend, Mr. Mick Foley.
Who else could it have been?
Thank you, brother. I'm glad you understand. Speaking of which, so baby's birthday party, that reminds me a lot of your 20th birthday party, Spidey. What do you remember about that?
Oh, fuck. Honestly, not a whole lot.
Honestly, do you want me to tell you what I remember?
Sure.
Your 20th birthday party, that means I had just turned 19. I remember being fucked up on booze, weed, and pills, and I remember there was one point the birthday party was at your grandparents' house, right?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah, and anyways, while we were there, I was in the kitchen and I had to throw up. And I was trying to go to the bathroom, but I didn't quite make it. And I threw my hand over my mouth, and my hand contained a lot of the puke, but some of it it was pressurized, and it splattered up, and it hit the fucking ceiling. And it was like an 8-foot ceiling, and that's how I got puke on the ceiling of your grandparents' kitchen.
It's I'll have to take a look when I go back over there next time.
Well, it's not there. No, the next day you fucking saw it, and you're like,
Oh.
God damn it, and you're
Oh.
like, how the fuck did puke get up there? I fessed up to it, and like I cleaned it the next day. To be fair, to my credit.
Okay, I was about to say, man, if there's
No. Do you really think that and would fucking see not notice puke in their kitchen for fucking, oh my God, what, let's
Well,
see,
it
fucking
took
6 years now.
It took them long enough to, notice the foot fucking on the mirror.
Oh my God, that it took them a weekend to notice that, dude. And honestly, I thought it'd be gone by then. I didn't realize that there wasn't a fan in that bathroom.
Well,
God. Okay, but to be
learn.
fair, honestly, every time I've taken a shower, in the master bedroom at your grandparents' house, it's been the lowest point of my life. So give me some credit.
Fair enough. Fair
God,
enough.
I mean, I think that chunks of my soul washed off in the drain there.
You're probably right.
Anyway, that line when Dennis says, "You've got beautiful skin," and Anne's all, "Don't tell me you're a dermatologist," that was a real zinger, you know?
Yes, that was. And
Dennis was a fucking creep. I hope he dies of rectal cancer.
Yeah, I was just about to say, can I just go on to say how fucking creepy Dennis was? That guy was a creep and a half. And then he couldn't even burn his finger.
Seriously, man, what the fuck? And how was nobody at that birthday party freaked out, seeing Baby running around? I mean, the 70s were a different time, right?
To be fair, it was Baby's birthday party.
Oh, well, very true, man. I mean, I guess no one invited there would be expecting anything else. Anne believes in making her own luck, and so do I.
Yeah.
I loved that lighter scene. I mean, I've been collecting Zippos since I was, probably since junior high or high school.
I got one in my backpack inside. I just gotta get the fucking flint for it.
Well, they're not hard to come by, and if you need help changing it out, man, I could do it blindfolded, so I got you.
So could I. Those are easy. I just gotta, get off my ass and mosey on down to Bare Bones, I guess.
Hey, oh man, I miss Bare Bones.
It's one of my faves.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't been there in years, and I need to fix that. I feel it. Oh my God, but yeah, so good for fucking, you know what? Good for Anne for staying with her husband through all of that.
That type of woman doesn't really exist anymore.
You know that she was fucking both of them. Like she had both of them running a train on her at least a couple times a week.
Oh yeah, I mean they were putting their lollipops inside of her multiple times. And she was instructing them to do so.
All right. So, have you heard anything about the remake that's set to be released in 2021?
You're shitting me.
No, actually, it's starring Zoe Deschanel and Haley Joel Osment.
No way.
Yeah, man. No. Have you heard anything about that? Have you heard anything about that remake, that reboot?
No, actually, I haven't. And if you're not shitting me, dude, I'm definitely.
Well, that's because I'm totally fucking with you right now.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. I was about to say, man, I'm totally gonna go see that if this is an actual thing.
No, that is not real. But, so honestly, I think that film was more of a shock thing in the 1970s because there was no adult baby diaper lover community in the 70s.
I'll just wait for my grandpa to come along.
Oh my god. And then just from what I know about the 70s, I don't think I would have survived.
I would have lived and done it over again.
Well, hey, there you go. All right. Spidey, do you have any final thoughts about the film?
Well, to anyone listening, if you're wondering just what the fuck we're talking about and you're looking for a good time, please go watch it on YouTube. It's free and it'll change your life in a better way.
Trust me, I've already given plenty of instruction, man. I feel that. All right. Definitely. All right. Well, Spidey, just in general, out of 5 stars, how do you rate the film?
Dude, 10.
All right, 10 stars. Hey, there we go. All right. Well, this is going to seem kind of redundant then, but on the bad movie scale, now, thinking out of 5 rooms in this haunted mansion compared to other bad movies you've seen, how do you rate this film out of 5 rooms?
Let's go 3.
All right, 3. There we go. All right. Well, once again, let's see. Spidey York. Hey, real quickly, is there anyone you might want to shout out here before we go who might be listening to the program?
Nah, man. I don't have anybody that close to me that'd be watching. Hi, Mom.
Hey, Layla, what's up? But do your grandparents not listen to this show?
Dude, my grandparents barely do shit. I can try and get them to watch it, but Grandpa, you wouldn't even believe. Now, he's a Twitter, fanatic. He talks
what?
he talks to President Trump on Twitter like it's a real. He's like, President Trump, I really value what you're doing for this country. I am for you, President Trump, dude.
Can you get to follow me on Twitter?
Dude, just send him a follow. He will follow you in a heartbeat.
Oh my God, are you serious? Fuck. Okay. Okay, what's he at?
I have no idea because I don't really do Twitter, but I know he follows my mom. If that helps, I know you and her follow each other on Twitter.
Ah, fuck.
I imagine knowing him, it'd be under his, his name.
I will look that up, okay?
Also, look up. He might be on there.
Yeah, I'll be fucking sure to do that.
But for real, man, he's on Twitter and he needs more friends because he talks to President Trump and expects a response.
Why am I picturing Stan, but for the year 2020? My tea's gone cold, I'm wondering why.
What you should be picturing is sitting in his little screened-in patio in his robe and white tube socks, typing away on his computer. Acknowledge me, President Trump. I am your biggest supporter.
Oh, man. Wow. I really can't thank you enough for joining me for this. Thanks for rewatching it. Thanks for revisiting, a place in our lives that is thankfully in the past. Once again, Spidey York.
Not a problem. You have a good one, my friend, and we'll be talking with you.
Hey, definitely, man. Thank you again.
Not a problem. Kiss, kiss.